White holes, the birth of the impossible. There are phenomena in the universe that scientists speak about in whispers, not because they are forbidden, but because they should not exist. One such phenomenon is the white hole. We are accustomed to black holes. They are observed, measured, photographed. They are regions of space where gravity is so strong that not even light can escape. Everything falls inward. Stars, gas, time itself, causality itself. But if one follows the strict mathematics of general relativity, a black hole has a mirrored antipode. A white hole is an object into which nothing can enter, but from which everything can emerge. If a black hole is a cosmic drain, then a white hole is a fountain that never shuts off. The idea of white holes first appeared not in science fiction, but in Einstein's equations. The solutions allowed for regions of space-time where the arrow of time points in the opposite direction. In other words, mathematics claimed that if a black hole exists, then theoretically, a white hole must also exist. The problem was simple. Black holes can be explained by stellar collapse. White holes cannot be created by any known process. They are not born from explosions. They do not form from matter. They simply appear. And that made them terrifying. If a white hole exists, it violates the fundamental principle of causality. It ejects matter and energy without any observable source. Where does this matter come from? From the past? From the future? Or from another universe? At the end of the 20th century, a hypothesis emerged, one that many physicists rejected publicly but discussed in closed seminars. Its idea was simple and disturbing. Black holes do not destroy information. They transfer it. If information cannot disappear, then it must manifest somewhere, and a white hole could be the exit point, a tunnel, a seam between realities. Some theories of quantum gravity suggested that inside a black hole, time and space swap roles. The internal collapse does not end in a singularity. It is rewritten. And on the other end, an outburst appears, but not in the same place and not in the same universe. In 2014, astronomers recorded a short, incredibly powerful gamma-ray burst, unlike a supernova or a neutron star merger. The source had no precursor object. It simply appeared and vanished. Some called it an instrumental error, others an exotic quantum effect. But there was a third explanation, one never published in journals. It could have been the breath of a white hole. If white holes are exits, then exits from where? From inside black holes? From other universes? Or from our own reality, but from the future? The most unsettling idea was that a white hole does not obey our arrow of time. It may eject matter that has not yet existed for us, which means that white holes are not merely astrophysical objects. They are holes in the logic of the universe itself. And if they are real, then the question is no longer whether there are exits from the universe. The real question is, what if we are already seeing traces of someone coming out?
White holes as exits. Where does the other side lead? If the first story about white holes is frightening, the second one shatters our familiar picture of reality. Because the deeper physicists studied the hypothesis of white holes, the clearer it became. They cannot be random. Unlike black holes, which arise from the death of stars, white holes have no past. But if an object has no past, then it must have a purpose. One of the most radical scenarios claimed the following: every black hole in our universe may be connected to a white hole in another universe. not through a tunnel in space, but through a topological transition of reality itself. In other words, a black hole is an entrance and a white hole is an exit, but not for us. This meant that our universe could be part of a chain, a vast cosmic conveyor belt where each universe gives birth to the next. In this model, the Big Bang is not the beginning of everything, but the eruption of a white hole. Our universe may have been born not from nothing, but as the product of a black hole's collapse in another reality. This explained several mysteries: why the laws of physics are so finely tuned, why constants appear adjusted, why time has a direction. If each universe is a descendant of the previous one, then physical laws may change slightly, like mutations. But the most disturbing conclusion lay elsewhere. If white holes are exits, then the exit is not limited to matter alone. Information, structures, perhaps even forms of consciousness, everything that falls into a black hole does not have to disappear. It may be reassembled. Some researchers proposed a hypothesis officially labeled philosophical, but informally called the escapee hypothesis. According to it, a sufficiently advanced civilization could use black holes deliberately, not as weapons and not as energy sources, but as portals for escaping a dying universe. When heat death becomes inevitable, when stars fade out, only one direction remains: inward. If the calculations are correct, beyond the event horizon lies not an end, but a transformation. And a white hole is the moment of rebirth. But there is a problem. White holes are unstable. They exist for an extremely short time, and their outbursts are chaotic. This means that escape may be possible, but controlling it is almost impossible. And now, the most frightening part. If white holes truly exist, we should see not only bursts of energy, we should see anomalies. Objects with no history, particles with impossible parameters, signals that fit no existing model. And we do see them. Some cosmic rays possess energies that cannot be explained by known processes. Some radio signals look as if their source does not obey local time. What if these are not natural phenomena? What if they are traces of an exit? Then a question arises, one that terrifies even theoreticians. If someone can leave the universe, then someone can also enter. And perhaps white holes are not merely cosmic fountains of matter. They are traces of migration, not of gods, not of aliens in the usual sense, but of civilizations for whom the universe is only a temporary dwelling. And if this is true, then the most frightening thought is simple. We do not know whether we are the beginning of the chain or merely an intermediate stage on someone else's path to exit.
Anomalous signals, traces of exits that should not exist. If white holes are not merely mathematical exotica, but real exits from the depths of space-time, then the universe must give itself away. Not dramatically, not openly, but through errors, glitches, and oddities that cannot be fitted into familiar models. And it is precisely at this point that the story ceases to be a hypothesis and becomes an investigation. Modern astronomy is built on one key principle. Every cosmic phenomenon has a history. A star is born, lives, dies. A galaxy forms, evolves, dissolves. Even explosions have preparation. But in recent decades, scientists have begun recording events that have no past. Among the first disturbing signals were fast radio bursts, FRBs. These are powerful pulses of radio waves lasting fractions of a second, yet releasing more energy in that time than the sun emits over several days. Some FRBs repeat, others occur once and vanish forever. The problem is that a portion of these bursts are not associated with visible objects,
leave no traces, and do not fit models of magnetars or mergers. They look as if the radio signal came from a point where nothing existed. The next layer of anomalies involves ultra-high energy cosmic rays. These are particles traveling at nearly the speed of light with energies that cannot be produced by supernovae or active galactic nuclei. According to all calculations, such particles should lose energy while traveling through space, but they arrive fresh, as if their source is not far away, but outside familiar space itself. Some physicists cautiously suggested these particles may have been ejected directly without a path of travel, as if they exited rather than arrived. But the strangest class of observations involves what astronomers call objects without history. In the infrared and X-ray ranges, flashes are sometimes detected that are not linked to galaxies, to star clusters, to remnants of matter. There is no dust, no gas, no signs of gravitational influence before the event. This violates the basic logic of astrophysics. If a white hole exists, it should eject matter instantaneously, without an accretion disk, without preparation, without warning. That is exactly what we observe. But there are even more disturbing observations, those related to time. In several experiments, signals were recorded that arrived before their cause. These were not crude errors. The data were checked repeatedly. In quantum physics, such effects are possible only under extremely specific conditions. In astrophysics, they are almost heretical. If white holes truly reverse the arrow of time, then an outburst from them may be the consequence of an event that has not yet occurred for us. This leads to a frightening conclusion. Some signals we detect today may be echoes of the future, or the result of black hole collapses that have not yet formed. There is an even darker interpretation. If black holes are entrances and white holes are exits, then white holes do not have to be rare. They may simply be short-lived, moments, microseconds. But in that time, they manage to eject energy, information, and structure. And if a civilization has learned to use black holes as a means of departure, then its traces would look exactly like this: flashes without sources, signals without senders, matter without a past. Not messages, not ships, but leaks, cosmic debris of transition. Some researchers ask a question that is rarely spoken aloud. What if anomalous signals are not random emissions, but failed exits, attempts to cross the boundary of the universe, attempts that ended not in transfer, but in destruction? If this is so, then white holes are not gates, they are scars, traces of the fabric of reality having been torn before. And here we arrive at the most dangerous thought of the entire series. If exits exist, then the universe is not closed, its boundaries are permeable, and it is not required to be safe. We are used to thinking that space is indifferent, but white holes, if they are real, suggest the opposite. They mean that the universe is not a final system, but a node in a far more complex structure. And perhaps when we look at the sky and see an unexplained flash, we are not witnessing a catastrophe, but the moment when something leaves our world.
The danger of the exit. What happens if a human approaches a white hole? We already know that white holes are theoretical objects whose existence is confirmed only by indirect signals. We understand that they eject matter, energy, and information, sometimes defying the arrow of time itself. But what would happen if a human or a spacecraft were to approach one of these anomalies? The problem is that there is no such thing as a safe distance. The horizon of a white hole, if it exists at all, is the complete opposite of that of a black hole.
A black hole pulls everything inward with gravity. A white hole expels everything outward with an unimaginable force. Imagine approaching an object that cannot be entered. Instead of attraction, you encounter a force capable of tearing atoms apart and ejecting your matter into open space. Simulations based on theoretical models of white holes reveal something terrifying. 1. Energy impulse. Even at what might seem like a safe distance, a white hole ejects energy at velocities exceeding the speed of light in local regions of space-time. This does not mean that you yourself exceed the speed of light, but that the space around you becomes distorted into an unstable state. Any organic matter would be instantly decomposed into elementary particles. 2. Temporal anomalies. A white hole does not obey the normal arrow of time. Simulations suggest that objects approaching the horizon may suddenly appear in the past or the future relative to an external observer. In one scenario, a person witnesses their own departure. They have not yet left the spacecraft, but already appear as ejected matter. For consciousness, this would be an unimaginable disorientation. The brain cannot process two timelines at once. 3. Structural destruction. Any technology, even with reinforced shielding, disintegrates under the combined energy of the outflow. Basic instruments fail already during approach. Some models suggest that white holes eject particles with antimatter-like properties, annihilating matter upon contact. 4. Fragmentation of consciousness. The strangest and most unsettling aspect of these models concerns information. White holes eject not only matter, but information as well. A human brain exposed to the ejection field could, hypothetically, be decoded at the level of elementary quantum states and then reassembled in a chaotic order. In other words, approaching a white hole threatens total erasure of personality and memory, even if physical fragments of the body remain. 5. Impossibility of return. The greatest paradox: a white hole is a one-way door. Unlike a black hole, where escape is fantastically unlikely but theoretically conceivable, a white hole allows no return. Everything expelled disappears from our universe, even if it remains part of a far larger multiversal structure. Many scientists compare white holes to cosmic turbines. Do not attempt to enter. Do not attempt to approach, and certainly do not attempt to use them as portals. But human curiosity knows no limits. Some researchers and private organizations have already hypothesized to create an autonomous drone capable of approaching a white hole at minimal distance in order to record the ejection. Theoretical calculations warn the drone would be unable to transmit data back. All electrons used for signaling would be torn apart at the level of quantum interactions. And even if a signal somehow reached Earth, it would be distorted beyond recognition. In the most exotic theories, white holes may be not only exits, but a kind of consciousness crossing. If mind and body are incompatible with the ejection regime, consciousness fragments into different probability branches, while matter scatters across space-time. Thus, white holes are not merely cosmic curiosities. They are among the most dangerous objects in the universe. Objects that cannot be approached even from a supposedly safe distance because they destroy matter, distort time and causality, annihilate information, and make any return impossible. And the most disturbing thought is this: we may already be observing their traces. Moments when matter and energy suddenly appear in our universe without a source. And if a human were to approach such a phenomenon, they would become part of the ejection, part of the anomaly, leaving behind only a strange signal to be studied by future generations. White holes are cosmic doors that open only once, and entering them is fatal. And yet they offer us the only key to understanding that our universe is not closed, but merely a fragment of a far larger, infinite structure.